I'm Marie, owner and instructor of Rulz Fitness. I teach yoga, tightening and toning, and of course my favorite, belly dance fitness.
Why Rulz Fitness Diva Talks? It has always been a personal mission of mine to help women on their wellness journey. We often give and go, supporting others, and not setting boundaries and overextending ourselves. We don't get the joy of the benefits of having a really healthy lifestyle. Look around. Most of us aren't in the shape that we imagine ourselves to be. We're exhausted and we're tired, and we need to address this. We need to start loving on ourselves more. We need to deal with the inner dialogue that's going on inside. There's a mental aspect of health and wellness. Keeping it real. If it were easy to do, more of us would be doing it. We have to create a community that will cultivate a spirit of good health, dealing with the mentalism of health and wellness. How do we do this? I want to help women to change by dealing with one habit at a time, creating a circle, a community that will help support, and then creating the exposure to different tools on how we can deal with the mentalism. This has always been a desire of mine. So now let's stay tuned for Rulz Fitness Diva Talks.
Welcome to another episode of Rulz Fitness Diva Talks. I'm Marie, your host, and I have my special guest here today, Dr. Demi with the Aafiyah Project. She's been coming to the studio off and on with us. She's a certified diva. I don't know. I'm just gonna register her as that. She might not accept that role, but I'm giving it to her. But it's one of those circumstances where I've done special and private events with her group, and it's been amazing, the energy, and especially the last time. She had no idea what was going on in my life, and being in that space with you guys saved my life that day, because you just don't know what people are going through, and to be around that energy. Everybody thinks I'm a superstar, but I'm not. I'm just a regular human being that needs love and support from everybody else too. And that day just filled my heart so much, because life was lifing, and I was so glad to be a part of that, and it just made me forget all about my problems and worries that day.
It was so good to hear.
Yeah, and so this is why I had to have you on the show. I was like, what does she do? It's kind of like, my dad's in the Air Force, but what does he do? And I know she's doing great things in the community, so I just wanted to bring her on and have her talk about the project. But first, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, no problem. My name is Demi Fauziyyah, Adebo-Adelaja. Long name, I know. I've gotten used to be called Dr. Demi or Dr. Fauziyyah. Either one is fine with me. Fauziyyah is my middle name, but mostly my Muslim friends know me as Fauziyyah. I'm a public health researcher by training. So I, after undergrad, went to get my master's in public health, and then did a doctorate afterwards. And my focus has always been international development work. But come 2016, I had a conversation with my husband, and I kind of wanted to do things a little differently in our family life. I decided to stop working. I became a stay-at-home mom.
Congratulations!
It was interesting. And then I also started homeschooling the kids with a lot of support from my husband. So that I kind of pivot career-wise in that way, because I really couldn't keep up with the traveling and things like that. I did a lot of work in Sub-Saharan Africa, Caribbean, and some Latin America, mostly focused on HIV/AIDS research.
Wow.
But definitely public health has been my thing, right? So through our homeschooling journey, I did, the kids and I went to live in Egypt for almost 2 years.
Wow.
They were studying Quran and learning Arabic, which is, I'm a Muslim, so that's a big part of our lives. We came back end of 2019, and 2020 COVID hit.
Hello.
Because one of the things I was starting to, I'm very sensitive to my kids' social emotional needs. One of the things I started observing about them is, just they needed that sense of community. And after a while in Egypt, it was great while it lasted, but a lot of the friends they were making in Egypt, they made friends with some local kids there, but a lot of them were still mostly like kids who came from the U.S. or from Europe,
Right.
generally speaking. But they tend to stay short term, so they'll come 3 months, 6 months, and they're back. So they were
Right.
making friends and losing friends, making friends and losing friends. And I, got to watch them go through that phase, and I was like, I don't know, this is not working out for them. So, and now, just for me as well, I was starting to feel that sense of I want to go and reconnect with my community back in America. So we came back, and so when we were coming back, the idea was I'm gonna bring them back into the community. They're gonna socialize with their friends. COVID hit, like I said, and it was like, what do we do? How do we go back and get them connected with their friends? And that's in 2020 is when the Aafiyah Project was put. Not the idea itself is long, it's a long-term thing that's been going on, but that's when we were officially registered as a nonprofit. So just to backtrack a little bit, 2015, I started a for-profit business called Healthier Pigs, and that's how I met you. Actually, Healthier Pigs, the idea was to pack healthy, wholesome type gift packs for kids. Because my kids when they were in school, whenever they had a party, they came home with the junk.
Of course.
Candies upon candies, and I felt like I was a candy police. And the kids my kids noted that, especially the first son, who's now 16 years old. But I was always taking the candy away, and I was like, I don't like this. We can do better with the packaging.
Right.
So I would volunteer with the school, and I started the for-profit Healthier Pigs back then, where we would pack healthy goodie bags and stuff like that. So it'll still have a little bit of candy and sweet stuff, but it'll be better, better options of the sweet stuff. I also want to include a small apple or a clementine, and people, at first folks were like, they're not going to eat that. The kids ate it.
Yeah,
the kids will eat what you give them. And we'll have like something around exercise, being active, some kind of activity book, something other than just candy for them to have.
Right.
Since then, I'm currently rebranding Healthier Pigs to Aafiyah Soul.
Okay.
Under Healthier Pigs, we had a social responsibility piece, which is where I really encouraged my sisters in the community to come out, get out the house, especially on weekends, come with the kids, let's do something fun, something interesting, something that'll take them away from just sitting behind the TV all weekend long. So we would do things like going hiking, walk on a trail, just sit around and have discussions. I was looking back not too long ago, and I saw a picture taken from 2015, 2016 when I first started, and it was like a health chat with the parents. So I had the parents and the kids, and we went to Climb Zone. So we had a session on nutrition, eating healthy. I don't know how I did it, because back then I was working full time. So I don't know how I figure out the time. My husband was there, my brother was there, everybody was helping out. My kids were there, and a lot of my friends and their kids were there. So after we had the discussion about eating healthy and things like that and making it fun, we went ahead and did the climbing and stuff, another healthy piece of our work. We also did the women, we focused a lot on the women because we're the ones raising the kids.
Right.
So anyway, I'm bringing that in to let you know that the work that we do at the Aafiyah Project really stems from some of the work I've been doing since 2015, and even prior to that. So Aafiyah itself is a term, and it's an Arabic term. It's one of those words that's really hard to translate into English.
Right.
So Aafiyah, it means health and wellness, right? Wholesome health, wholesome wellness. So to have good health is to be in a state of Aafiyah. To have sustenance is to be in a state of Aafiyah. To not have to worry about a roof over your head, to not have to worry about the food on your table, not have to worry about whether you can go out, the door and come back safely, is to be in a state of Aafiyah. So it's really holistic in terms of health and wellness. And that's my prayer for the community. And we tend to, the community at large, the Black community, the Muslim community, target group are those who are underserved with different services. So back to the introduction, the Aafiyah Project is a small nonprofit in the DMV area, and we are on a mission to build a legacy of health and wellness in the community through addressing health disparities. And we're doing that on 3 ends. One, through health promotions, programming, another through community engagement, and the third is scholastic achievement opportunities that we look for in our community for our students, right, to engage in. So what you know me through is mostly our health promotion.
Right.
And we do have a women's health focus. Again, like I said, the women are a huge pillar and a very important pillar in the community. So we want to always do things that help us better our health, socially, mentally, well-rounded, once again, in all kinds of ways. So sometimes you'll see me and my sisters come over to the studio to do some workout, and we invite you, of course, to our retreat to have some girl fun.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, folks think health and wellness is just one way. There are different things to curate your health and wellness. It's not just a one-way thing. It's not just going to the spa, which is great.
Yeah. I'll take
it's
that.
great. I'll take it. But there are different ways for you to maintain your health or even to begin that wellness journey.
So tell me how the Aafiyah. I tried it. I was like in my head. Yeah, I need that. Take two. Helps and aids or provides a service, avenue to deal with mental health.
Mental health. Okay. When we deal with mental health, it's not just, I'm sitting down with a counselor or a therapist and telling him or her about my problems. Mental health is holistic as well, and there are different things you can do to help you maintain that. So one of the things for me, take an example. I had a presentation last week. An example I gave is routinizing some of the things you do so you don't get overwhelmed. So I have a routine in my home as to how I do laundry, for example. The kids all go to school now, and they have uniforms. So Friday evening, I'm like, everyone, so-and-so, I call each child, bring your clothes down, I put in the laundry. It starts to wash, I put in the dryer, and then by Saturday morning, Sunday morning, I'm already bringing them out and putting them together. That saves me from the headache of stressing over it the whole week long, right? And it also gives me time, buys me time to be able to focus on other things that brings me joy. And other things that would not stress me out. Right. So for our mental health and well-being, it's you doing things in a systematic way, routinizing some of the things that you do, or saying no to certain things that are going to stress you out. But I think a lot of women, we don't give ourselves enough grace to be able to say no, or to be able to routinize things, or to be able to even share the responsibility of those things. I'm known for, everyone, let's get daddy to help us with this because I can't do it by myself. Help me with the kids. Like if it's homework, can you go to dad? Is that for that? Or I call my husband myself and say, can you help me drop off the kids at this place? Even my extended family, my siblings. I have okayed myself. I've given myself the okay to call on others to help me do things and not feel guilty about it.
Right.
Because I think a lot of times we feel like we have to do it all by ourselves. Yeah. We don't have to do it. We don't.
Hello.
And it took me a while to come to terms with that. And so I try to promote that with my fellow women because you think it's something simple, but it's when I look back on the way I live my life, it sounds like a simple concept, but back then I didn't give myself enough grace to be okay with taking help, accepting help, or even asking for the help.
That's something I struggle with too. And how do you get over this is my thing. A lot of times it's kind of like, well, I don't want to bother somebody else. I can take it, I can handle it, I can get it done. It'd take me a little longer or whatever. But how do you get past that part? Because I don't know if this part of it is just pride, or even sometimes if you ask for help, they may not do it with the same level that you do it. Even though you need help with it, then you're gonna be kind of
I'm hearing perfectionist over here. I'm guilty of that as well. So one, I have to get over that. Okay, it's not going to be done perfectly. Right. It's not going to be on the same way. Yeah. But also, what's the worst they can say? No.
Yeah, this is true.
That's it. We have this fear of rejection, and I'm no expert around this, but I know that's where I was operating from. I was operating from that sense of not wanting to be rejected by someone, especially if it's family or loved one. You don't want them to say no to you all the time.
Right.
But I've had to talk myself into the worst they're gonna do is say no, I can't do it, and I'll have to figure out another way to do it. and I've had to give myself grace over time, to practice that and to be okay with what someone says. And interestingly, most of the time they say yes.
Yeah, right.
That's the interesting part. Like I've sat down, at some point and noted.
I'm loving this. We had some offline conversation too, that I wanted to actually bring up during the live, about the community that you serve, because people will look at you and be like, well, she only serves that your profit is only for Muslim women, and it's not. It's actually for. Well, just I'll let you tell.
No problem. So the Aafiyah Project is, started by Muslims, which is me, and my primary target are all fellow Muslim women because I understand our struggles, and also Muslim families, Muslim kids. I understand the struggles, and a lot of times, even those with immigrant backgrounds, first, second, third generation American kids, because I'm one of them, and I understand the struggle. However, we do not discriminate. We've served non-Muslims in our programming. We've also served non-minority identifying individuals. We welcome everyone with open arms. The only thing I do let folks know from the very onset is our primary focus are Muslims in the community. So I actually introduced them to the terms, for example, that we use, like if you hear Salam Alaikum, hijab, salat, things like that. These are the things that we're talking about. I don't want you to be left out of the discussion. We have a lot of students, interns come from UMBC, University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and some of our interns are Muslim and some are non-Muslim. So we go through this whole onboarding process with them to help them understand that, like, we are totally open to you, working with us, and so they get to know us. And I've not had any issues, thank God, with anyone feeling kind of like, left out, left, some kind of unsavory taste in their mouth in terms of working with us. I've never had that kind of experience.
Yeah, because community is large. There's several communities within communities, so I don't think there's any problem with if your target is this particular group. Because I particularly like to target women, even though it's a fitness studio. So I just wanted to make sure people understand that while your primary focus is the Muslim community and women vein, that it's open and available to all women that are underserved. Yeah. Shoot, I had a really good question and it just left me like that. I hate when that happens. So tell me the day. Like if I come to I go online and I Google you and I sign you up. Tell me what it is a day in the walk of getting some of your services.
Okay, so we have different things that are directed to women. We have the monthly hikes. I need to put up the next hike that's coming up on our website. You can join us for those. We typically ask that folks actually register online so we know who's coming and we don't start hiking without you. And especially this being, fall is right down the street from us now. It's coming. This is my favorite season to go hiking. We have the women's retreat, which you know about. It's 4-day retreat on health and wellness, and we focus on 4 aspects of wellness. So we have the social emotional wellness for us, the physical and mental health wellness, the financial wellness. That's something that a lot of times we leave behind because we're not thinking about it. Right. If you can't put food on your table, you're not going to be well, so to speak. You're thinking about that constantly, or you're not even just able to be healthy. And then the spiritual wellness. And we do the various things around throughout the year. So the retreat is typically in the summer, because for a lot of women, that's the time we actually have that's around the time of the year we have time to attend this wellness retreat. And I tell the women, don't tell your husband where you're going. Don't tell the kids where you're going. Just say, don't call me because it's 4 days.
Because it's your time.
It's my time to do with my girlfriends. And really, we aim to build a sense of sisterhood amongst ourselves, and that's important. So you asked about feeling good enough, not good enough, but feeling comfortable with asking for help. sometimes it's your sisters, your soul sisters, so to speak, or those who you consider sisters. It doesn't even have to be blood relations,
Right.
but those you consider sisters that you will be the people that you call up and ask, oh, can you watch the kids really quickly? I need to run here. Or can you help me pick up something down, from the store and drop it off at my door because I'm not feeling so well. So we're trying to strengthen our sense of sisterhood along the way. Another event we had, and we're going to make this an annual event now, is bouquets of bubblies. So we call it halal bubblies because we don't drink alcohol, right? So but we still had our bubblies. A very dear friend of mine runs a flower farm, and we had women. The last event, I think we had maybe between 12 and 15 women, Muslims and non-Muslims, join us on the farm. So her name is Bahia, Eco Farms. Bahia taught us how to cut the flowers, how to arrange them, all the while we're having our bubblies. And just the conversations that transpires in that, little bit of time. It was almost like a half day type event. Afterwards, some of the ladies came to me and was like, oh my goodness, I didn't know I needed this until I came here. Just that sense of sisterhood, that sense of I'm with other women. We understand each other's struggles. We share ideas. We share ways, we're doing certain things in our lives. So the sharing, the caring, and the love that we give to each other is really greatly appreciated. We also had another one, water aerobics. We were in a private home in a pool working out together. That's it. That's something we don't do enough of. Actually, being intentional about working out. So we hope to expand on that more next summer, God willing. We did yoga by the poolside. That was very nice as well. We had a couple of sessions over the summer. And we hope to continue with that. And now our yoga is on Zoom, where we just do kind of like restorative yoga. And we typically do it very late at night. Again, I'm having to be cognizant of women's timing. Some of us are able to come up during the daytime, but a lot of those that we serve, they're working full time, they have kids, they have all this other exactly the business schedule. But take time away for yourself. And this is our online one is like 9 p.m. So you can't tell me you're still running up and down
the street
at 9 p.m. So by the time we're done with that, you're ready, you're calm, and you're able to just go and rest for the night. So things like that. Just our programs are really born out of what the community says they need. I'm always open to ideas, so feel free to contact me on through our website. And we're on social media as well. So contact me and let me know what your thoughts are. We sit around and plan these things and put them together.
You said something very important, like building that sisterhood, even if they're not relatives or family. That's important, and giving an example of what that is like. Okay, can you pick this up? I think a lot of times, and that comes from just going back to what you said about not asking for help. You don't really know how to reach out to somebody. You don't know how to, and it's just something as simple as like going to work out together all together, come to work out together. Not just kidding. But really organically just making it a group effort to do something collectively together to build that sisterhood. Because what other ways would you do that?
A lot of so you don't sit down and plan, I'm going to build a sisterhood with this person. Exactly. Sometimes maybe you do. Maybe you do. But I'll give you an example of how some of those things came together for me. A lot of my my sisters, outside of my familial roots, come from my kids' school. I would meet up with other moms who are also dropping off or picking up their kids at the same school as mine. We pass by the hallway, like, hi, how you doing? Salam alaikum, this and that. And then I got to the point where I would invite them to my space, or they would invite me to their space, or share things that they're doing. Like, oh, would you like to join me this weekend to do so and so? Do you think it's accidental that sometimes you see a bunch of us together come to your studio? We call each other up, right? Oh my goodness, I'll use Khalifa. I love her. As an example, I'm feeling this kind of way. And she's like, when's the last time you've been to belly dance? And I was like, oh my God, it's been ages. Why don't we try to go next week? Next week might come, I forget. Or she forgets, like, what happened? Okay, next week we're going to put it on our calendar. We're going to make sure we make it. Being intentional about that. But my my relationship with this particular person that it didn't evolve overnight.
Right.
It took it took me seeing her around multiple times, and sometimes we'll get invited to the same circle, the same events, and I was like, oh, I kind of like this sister. I kind of like her. We kind of mesh on so many different levels, and then we'll do things together.
Yeah.
And I have other friends just like that where these things start organically, but you also have to put in some effort. I don't want to make it sound like you just sit back and everything just comes to you. You have to put in some level of effort, some level of hi, how you doing? Saying hello to someone really breaks the ice. And it could be, I think at some point I was also looking for play dates for my son.
Right.
I was raised in Beltsville, but we left the state for a little bit and came back when my kids were very little. So I knew that I needed to like help them make friends or know the parents of their friends and things like that. So that's how some of this other ones. Another friend of mine, Jamila, I hope she's watching. Jamila would invite me to she had like a themed party, and I was like, oh my! I was just talking about this with her the other day. This is like 10, 12 years ago.
Oh wow!
I was like, Jamila, you put that idea of having a themed party for kids in my head, and I did it for many years with my kids. And she had no clue. All she did was invite me to a party with my kid, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool, and this is someone I really like." And the rest is history, as they say. And we just, at this point, a lot of my friends that I've met that way, we're women in our 40s, 50s, and we are busy. Yes, we have full-time jobs. A lot of my friends have full-time jobs, or taking care of the kids. But we also understand the importance of pausing. And taking time for ourselves. Ooh. So it could be me or someone else in our group. And I have a big group of friends, a huge group of sisters. I also have my small core sisters, and we would, sometimes just message each other, do y'all want to do this together? Because you don't want to go out and do something by yourself. You want to do this together? Can we catch up with this? Or can we just go out and, hang out, whatever? And we're intentional about that, meaning we know it's not going to happen when you just sit back and do nothing. So those are some of the things that we do.
So I know you mentioned some of the programs. Do you have any like special events coming up? I know you said the fall's coming and you'll have, tell us where we can actually get in touch with you on social media. I know you said a couple of places, but
yes. So we are on our website is www.theaafiyahproject.org. So the THE Aafiyah AAFIYAH project PROJECT.org. That's our website. And you'll find our Facebook handle there, the Aafiyah Project. You'll find our Instagram handle there as well. Scroll all the way to the bottom. You can also get on our mailing list, and you'll get our newsletter that way. And we're always looking for volunteers because this is an all volunteer organization, believe it or not. No one is paid at the moment. We all do this free of cost to others. These are things that cost money, don't get me wrong, because we solicit donations, and that's how we're able to fund the projects that we do.
Do you have a Cash App or anything like that?
We have Cash App. All of that information is on our website.
Okay, great.
So
I'll make sure I'll put that down in the comments. So
thank you so much. Yes, so we do have how you can support us. We have a page on our website.
Okay, great. So you got 5 minutes to the female community. What would you say in regards to anything that you want to say? 5 minutes. What would you say? Could be related to your program, overall well-being. If you just had the hearts of all the women, what would you say?
Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. I think we tend to put ourselves on the front line and think nothing is going to happen unless I do it myself. We tend to think that we can't say no to folks. We tend to think we have to do it all by ourselves, but we don't. And it was a hard lesson to learn over the years. And once I learned it, I was very intentional about making use of that power. It was kind of like a superpower of mine that I found when I realized that it really takes a village. It takes a village for you to raise your kids and to even live your life to the fullest. So take care of yourself. and then it makes it easier for you to take care of those you're in charge of, be it your spouse, your children, your parents, your siblings, and the community. So once I learned that it was okay for me to press pause and to go out and do things that made me happy, that brought me joy, and I'm not. It doesn't have to be something big.
Right.
It could just be going for a walk with my headphone on. When I go out with my headphone on, my audiobook, my Quran, my whatever it is I'm listening to, that takes me to a totally different place from my current environment. But I love nature walks. I love walking in my neighborhood, walking in on the trails. So those are some of the things that I do to take care of myself.
Yeah.
And also, the public health piece in me would, be remiss not to mention, those checkups, those annual checkups. I cannot stress enough how important it is. Make that, such a priority that, you have it on your calendar.
Yeah.
For me, it's usually between the first and third months of the year. I've either done or set up my appointments for my gynecological appointments, just my physical, my this and that. The list goes on for us. But sit down, dedicate a whole day or half a day at least to do that, because that's part of you taking care of yourself. And I mentioned that based on I had a little scare not too long ago where I didn't know I had high blood pressure until I went and it's one of those community health fairs in the community, and I was like, oh yeah, let me go, because we were going to add that to one of the things that we do.
Right.
We added it to our community field day, so I wanted to see what the process was like. So I actually did the intake and stuff, and they checked my blood pressure. It was really high. When I say high, I mean really high, like 156, 160 thereabout. And I'm a 120/80 type chick, like all the time.
Right.
So I was stunned. I told the guy, "No, this is not. Do it again." Like I was. He's looking at me like, "What?
Were you upset about something?"
Yeah. And then he told me what it was, and I was like, "No, one more time." I had to do it 3 times, and I sat behind the desk from across from a medical doctor. It was like, when people are at 140 systolic, we put them on medication. You are way past that, and that was very humbling for me. But I was stressed out.
I was gonna say
I was stressed. I was not managing my stress at all. So I'm guilty of that. Once in a while, I do slip. So that was me not taking care of myself. Okay. When I told my husband, he was like, "We have to talk." Like I sent him a picture of the screen, and like we have to talk. Like, oh my god. Really do, because it's so abnormal for that to, and it's a silent killer. So in the Black community especially, we don't do enough of that. So take care of yourself. It could be something as small as stepping out your door, going for a walk by yourself, or with someone. Take care of yourself by making those annual appointments, dental appointments too, taking care of your physical health. Take care of yourself by doing something that makes you happy. Yeah. Just something that brings you joy. Be around folks that bring the best out of you. Yeah. So that's what I would tell the women.
That is the truth. It was definitely a pleasure having you here, Dr. Demi.
Thank you.
And again, if you want to learn more information or make a donation to her nonprofit organization, the links will be down in the comments below. And again, I thank you for joining us here in Upper Marlboro, Maryland for another episode of Rulz Fitness Diva Talks. Namaste.